Imagine a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Meet David and Sarah. Combined household income $185,000. By global standards, they are in the top 1%. By historical standards, they are kings. But tonight, they don't feel like kings. They feel exhausted. David is scrolling Instagram, looking at a watch he doesn't need. Sarah is adding a $60 skincare cream to a cart, her third purchase this week. They aren't stupid. They know the math. They have a budget spreadsheet that they haven't opened in 3 months because looking at it makes them feel physically ill. On paper, they are wealthy. In reality, they are living paycheck to paycheck, bleeding out cash in increments of $20, $50, and $100. They ask themselves the same question every month. We make good money. Why does it feel like we're drowning? The answer isn't that they need to make more, and the answer isn't that they need to stop buying avocado toast. The answer is that they are caught in a neurological loop that has nothing to do with finance and everything to do with survival. There is a prevailing belief in personal finance that spending is a moral failing. We are told that if you spend too much, you simply lack discipline. You're weak, you're greedy. This is the big lie. If you're hardworking, educated, and anxious, like David and Sarah, your spending is rarely about greed. It is about regulation. In psychology, this is known as the depletion-consumption loop. Here is the rule that divides the fragile from the resilient. The more energy you spend surviving your workday, the more money you will spend attempting to recover your humanity in the evening. Modern society has broken the contract on delayed gratification. We used to save for a reward. Now the purchase is the therapy. But there's a cure. It doesn't require a higher salary. It requires understanding how your brain has been hijacked.
Let's look at the mechanics of why this happens. 40 years ago, friction was the ultimate financial guardian. To spend money, you had to physically go to a store, cash a check, or count bills. That friction gave your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, time to ask, do I actually need this? Today, friction has been eliminated. One-click checkout, Apple Pay, saved credit cards. Dr. Anna Lembke, author of Dopamine Nation, explains that we are now living in a world of overwhelming overabundance. Our brains are wired for scarcity, but we live in a digital candy store. Here is the specific psychological mistake most high earners make. They confuse dopamine with satisfaction. Dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure. It is the molecule of craving. When you see that gadget, or those shoes, or that delivery notification, your dopamine spikes before you get the item. The moment you click buy, the chemical crashes. Let's run the numbers on dopamine spending. A $15 lunch, a $40 impulsive Amazon purchase, and a $20 subscription you forgot about. That's $75 a day. That is $2,250 a month. That is $27,000 a year of after-tax income. For a high earner, that is nearly 2 months of labor traded for things you didn't even want 3 days later. The money scope insight is this. You aren't buying products. You are buying a momentary release from the anxiety of modern life. You are paying a stress tax to feel okay for 15 minutes.
This is where we have to be honest about the environment we live in. Housing costs have doubled. Childcare is a second mortgage. The promise that hard work equals security feels like it has been broken. When you feel like you can't afford the big things, like a house or a secure retirement, you naturally retreat to buying the small things. Economists call this the lipstick effect. When the future feels uncertain, we stop saving for it and start treating ourselves in the present. If you feel burnt out, spending money is the fastest way to feel a sense of agency. It's the one moment in your day where you are the boss. Pause for a moment. Look at your last 3 discretionary purchases. Did you buy them because you needed the utility of the object, or did you buy them because you had a bad day? So, how do we break the loop? How do we stop using money as an emotional crutch? We introduce a new system. We call it the 30-day cure. It is not a budget, it is a filter. For the next month, you are allowed to browse. You are allowed to want things, but you are not allowed to buy any non-essential item instantly. Instead, you write it on a list, you date it, and you wait 30 days. Here's the neuroscience of why this works. You are decoupling the dopamine spike, the wanting, from the purchase, the action. By forcing a 30-day pause, you allow the dopamine to dissipate. You allow your prefrontal cortex to come back online. 90% of the things on your list will lose their appeal by day 4. You will look at them and wonder, why did I want that? When you do this, you aren't depriving yourself. You are building margin. Wealth is not the car in the driveway. Wealth is the unspent money that sits in your account, giving you the ability to quit a toxic job, handle a medical emergency, or sleep through the night without panic. Wealth is boring. Wealth is quiet. Wealth is controllable.
If you take nothing else from this video, remember these 3 things. 1. Your spending is likely a biological reaction to stress, not a personal failure. 2. Friction is your friend. The easier it is to pay, the harder it is to build wealth. 3. The 30-day rule is the fastest way to regain control of your brain and your bank account. The cost of ignoring this is high. If you don't fix the dopamine loop, you will earn more and more money, but you will never keep it. You will run on the treadmill until you collapse. Here is your question for the week. What are you trying to soothe with your spending? If this video helped you see your finances with more clarity, consider subscribing to Sharon Finance. We don't do hype here, we do strategy. Check the description for the 30-day template. Stop spending to feel better. Start saving to be better.